Good morning. This is the Truth Seeker 333 live Sunday morning from Southern California. The time is 8:16 in the morning. So, how's everybody doing? I'll go ahead and post a link to this video in the description of the event. Okay, the description of the Google Hangout is now in the link for the Google Hangout is now in the description of this event. Last night, I was doing a little more study on the differences in personality types, INTJ and the INFJ, and specifically with regard to the what they term FE function and the TE function. That the INFJ is operating in the FE function, which is external feeling. And what that means is that they feel the feelings of other individuals forwardly. In other words, they empathize. They truly empathize in the sense that it is hard for them to distinguish between somebody else's feelings and their own. Almost as if they are that person. Whereas the INTJ personality type is a very isolated individual. And they do not so easily empathize with other individuals in that sense. They are very specific in their distinguishing between their own emotions and the emotions of others. In fact, it is almost a dominant feature of the INTJ individual to always be monitoring the individuals around them, outside of them, and constantly distinguishing those emotions which are going on outside of them. And so it's never a struggle for the INTJ to determine if they are feeling their own feelings or if they are feeling the feelings of another individual. Now, the INFJ and the INTJ both can sense the emotions of those outside of them. It's just that the INTJ is internally making a discernment on the emotional state of somebody else. And so in that sense, we are empathizing, but we are not empathizing socially. In other words, we can discern what others are going through, but not as an extroverted act of interaction with those around us. At least not in the exaggerated sense of somebody who cannot distinguish between their own emotions and the emotions of others. If they're around somebody who's depressed, then they feel depressed. If they're around somebody who's happy and just, then they are happy, you know. And so over time, both personality types grow and we mature and we begin to understand that there's value in both sides of those functions. So the INTJ could learn a lot from the INFJ who is able to externally empathize with others on a much deeper level, simply because they are almost becoming an extension of that person. Their very reactions and their very emotions are being stimulated by the external data that they are taking in from the individual they are socializing with. And then they are becoming this expression of that other person. Okay. So the INTJ could learn a lot from that experience. And vice versa, the INFJ could learn from the INTJ on the importance of separating one's emotions from the emotions of those outside of you. And so if the two types could somehow find a balance between these functions, there would be a mutual benefit. So the other thing is that both the INTJ and the INFJ struggle with their own emotions. So while the INFJ is able to externally emote and empathize with everyone around them, they struggle when it comes to trying to dig deep down into their own emotions. So that's when, to deal with their own emotions, they isolate themselves to go through the emotional processing outside of a social. In other words, the INFJ is very good at empathizing with other people, but not allowing other people to empathize with them. And the INTJ is not very good at empathizing with other people and is not very good at discerning their own emotions in the same way. And so that's when the INTJ isolates themselves to go through emotional processing to deal with their own emotions. And so the INTJ and the INFJ both have the similar struggle with processing their own emotions. So if somehow the INTJ and the INFJ could communicate to one another, each their functions, there would be a mutual benefit. And I don't know if that would help in the area of emotional processing. But it's almost as if I am very good at, as an INTJ, I am very good at empathizing with other people outside of me internally, but they don't know. And then on the other respect, the INFJ is very good with empathizing with people externally and letting them know. So if somehow the INTJ could convey to those around them that they understand what they're going through, and at the same time retain that separateness of, these are my emotions and those are your emotions, the benefit would be a much higher functioning or holistic functioning person. But then maybe it's not supposed to be that way. Maybe we're all supposed to be in this together. We all have a different function in the community. So anyway, those are my thoughts this morning. God bless everyone and keep seeking truth.